It was a muddy afternoon in the city after a heavy rain. The roadside was messy with puddles everywhere. An old man named Papa Thomas sat quietly on a wooden bench near the roadside. His clothes were old, and his slippers were worn out, but he looked peaceful. He had just finished sweeping in front of a small shop and was resting before going home. Suddenly, a black Range Rover came speeding through the narrow road. Without slowing down, the car ran right through a large puddle. A heavy wave of muddy water flew up and soaked Papa Thomas from head to toe. The old man gasped and tried to wipe his face with his hand, but the damage was already done. His shirt, trousers, and even his slippers were now dripping with brown water. People nearby stopped and stared in shock. "Hey, look what you did!" one woman shouted at the car. The car didn't stop. It rolled forward slowly, then finally came to a halt just a few steps ahead. The tinted window rolled down. A proud female voice came from the car. "You shouldn't be sitting so close to the road, old man. This is not your village." Then the window rolled up again, and the car sped off. The crowd went silent for a moment. "Did she just say that?" one man asked, his mouth open. "Wicked woman," another woman shouted. "Can't she even say sorry?" "This is too much," someone added. "Papa Thomas is always quiet and kind. Why treat him like this?" But the old man raised one hand and spoke softly. "It's okay. Leave her. Let God judge." Meanwhile, the woman in the black Range Rover, Vanessa, arrived at a luxury shopping mall. As she walked into the building, her phone buzzed. She took a selfie and posted it online with the caption, "Only the strong walk over the weak. Boss Queen." Within minutes, the comments rolled in. "Slay. Queen of Queens." She smiled proudly. To her, what she did was nothing. She believed that poor people had no value, no voice, and no reason to be in her way. She had built her life with pride, stepping on anyone she thought was beneath her. Papa Thomas arrived home that evening, tired but still calm. He opened the door and walked into the large living room of their beautiful mansion. Though he dressed simply and often visited poor neighborhoods, his son Bernard was a wealthy man. Their house had everything: fine furniture, soft rugs, and expensive artwork on the wall, but none of it meant much to the old man. Bernard was sitting on the couch reading something on his tablet when he noticed his father walk in. "Papa, what happened to your shirt?" he asked. "It looks like you had another bad day." Papa Thomas sat down gently and shook his head. "Bernard, I saw the most rude woman today." Bernard sighed. "Papa, again? I don't know why you keep going out there. Why can't you stop this? You don't need to sit on the roadside or talk to random people. You live in a mansion now. You have everything you need." Papa Thomas looked at his son with calm eyes. "I will never stop, Bernard. Not until I find a good woman for you." Bernard dropped the tablet. "Papa, again with this?" "Yes," Papa Thomas said firmly. "You're 36 years old already. You need a wife. You need someone who will build with you, not just enjoy what you have." Bernard rubbed his forehead and sighed. "Papa, I have a girlfriend." The old man turned quickly. "You do?" "Yes, I've been seeing someone." "Then why didn't you tell me before now?" "I didn't want to rush things," Bernard replied. "But now that you're bringing it up again, I'll tell you." Papa Thomas leaned forward. "So, who is she? Where is she from? What does she do?" Bernard smiled lightly. "You will meet her soon, don't worry. She's very beautiful." The old man raised an eyebrow. "Beauty is not everything, my son." "I know, Papa, but there's a problem." "What problem?" Bernard hesitated for a moment before speaking. "She's rude, Papa. Very rude." Papa Thomas leaned back slowly. "She talks down to people," Bernard continued. "She's proud. She thinks everyone is below her. And the worst part, she spends money anyhow. I give her money, she buys things she doesn't need, expensive clothes, shoes, bags, all just to show off." Papa Thomas shook his head in silence. "So, why are you still with her?" Bernard looked away. I don't know. Maybe because she's beautiful, maybe because I thought I could change her. She's smart, too, and sometimes when she's calm, she's sweet. But when she gets angry or feels insulted, she becomes someone else. His father was quiet for a while. Then he asked, "Does she respect you?" "Sometimes." "Does she respect herself?" Bernard didn't answer. Papa Thomas sighed deeply. "Bernard, listen to me. I've been watching women all my life. I know how they behave, even from how they walk and talk. You need a woman who will bring peace into your home, not noise. A woman who will help you grow, not waste what you have worked for." "I know, Papa. I know you're right." "Then bring her home. Let me see her with my own eyes. I want to talk to her. I want to look into her eyes. If I see humility, I will bless the union. If I see pride, I will tell you the truth, even if it hurts." Bernard nodded slowly. "Okay, Papa, I'll talk to her. Maybe she can come over this weekend." "Good," the old man said, "but don't tell her anything special. Let her come as she is. I want to meet her real self, not the one she puts on in public." Bernard chuckled. "You want to surprise her?" "No," Papa Thomas said calmly. "I want her to surprise herself." As Bernard stood to get a glass of water, his father watched him with quiet concern. He was proud of his son. Bernard was smart, successful, and kind, but love could make even the wisest man blind. Another hot afternoon, Papa Thomas sat quietly outside a big supermarket, wearing his simple clothes, a plastic bowl in front of him. Some people dropped small change, others didn't even look at him. He didn't beg, he just sat. Then the sound came. A black Range Rover stopped sharply at the front. Vanessa stepped out, eyes hidden behind dark glasses, loud music playing in her car. She saw Papa Thomas, hissed, and walked closer. "You again?" she snapped. "You, this old dirty-smelling man. Why do you keep disgracing your generation like this?" She didn't wait for a reply. "Do you enjoy sitting here like a goat? Poor people like you have no shame." Papa Thomas didn't say a word. "Look at your clothes, look at your face. Useless man, maybe you were cursed." Still silent. "You're the reason Nigeria is backward. You sit here waiting for help instead of dying quietly." She spat near his feet. "You make me sick." Just then, a young woman with 2 grocery bags stepped out of the supermarket. She paused, watched, then dropped her bags. "Enough," she said. Vanessa turned. "Who are you?" "Someone who still has sense," Mary replied. Vanessa laughed. "Another poor rat trying to feel important." "You're insulting an old man for no reason," Mary said sharply. "What did he do to you?" "He exists," Vanessa barked. "Poor dirty men like him shouldn't be outside." Mary stepped forward. "He's old enough to be your father." "So?" Vanessa shouted. "Is he my father?" "Look at him." Vanessa laughed again. "Do you know who I am? Do you know who my boyfriend is? I can get you arrested in 2 minutes." Mary didn't blink. "Arrest me for telling you to respect an old man?" "I'm rich, I can do anything," Vanessa yelled. "No, you're loud, not rich in character," Mary fired back. "You're jealous of me. I'm clean. I'm classy." Mary scoffed. "You're just noisy with lipstick, nothing more." Vanessa's face changed. She stepped forward. "You dare talk to me like that?" "Yes, because nobody ever taught you how to behave." "You will regret this, number you will," Vanessa said. Mary said calmly, "One day, this same man you insulted will be the one you'll need to bow to." Vanessa's hands shook. Mary pointed. "Take your proud legs and leave." Vanessa stared, lips tight, face red. Then she turned, stormed into her car, slammed the door, and sped off. Mary then turned to Papa Thomas. "Sorry, sir." He looked at her gently. "Thank you, my daughter." She smiled. "I couldn't let her talk to you like that." He nodded slowly. "These days, not many people speak up like you did." Mary looked around, then walked closer. "Papa, what's your name?" "Thomas," he said simply. People just call me Papa Thomas." She sat beside him. "I'm Mary." He smiled. "Nice name." She looked into his eyes. "Papa, where do you stay?" she asked. He hesitated, then said quietly, "I sleep in an empty store at the edge of town. The owner allows me to stay there. It's not much, but it keeps the rain away." Mary's face dropped. "Oh, Papa, I'm really sorry." He shook his head gently. "Don't be. Life has its seasons. I may be poor, but I still have my peace." "You seem too wise to be out here, Papa." He gave a weak smile. "Life teaches you wisdom when you have nothing." She looked at him for a while, then said, "Papa, I studied agriculture. I'm a graduate. It's been 1 year now. No job. My parents are poor farmers in the village." He nodded slowly. "You're trying." "I was thinking," she continued, "instead of just sitting here, maybe I can help you start a small farm, even behind the store. We can plant simple things, pepper, tomatoes, vegetables. It will give you food, and we can sell the rest." Papa Thomas looked at her, surprised. "You want to help me farm?" "Yes, Papa," she said. "I have nothing else for now, but I have strength. I can work. It's better than waiting. You'll eat fresh food, and you can stop begging for coins." He sat still, thinking deeply. "You're too kind," he said quietly. She shook her head. "No, Papa. I just believe good people deserve help too." He looked up at her. "You hardly—" Papa Thomas smiled slowly. "You're different. I try," she said. He nodded. "I will think about it, Mary. Think fast," she said playfully. "We can start with a small basket of okra. Even that can change something." They both laughed softly. Mary stood, picked up her bags, and waved. "Okay, Papa. See you tomorrow." He nodded. "I'll be here." "Good," she said. "Don't go missing." She walked off, smiling. Papa Thomas sat back, watching her go. Something stirred in his chest, not sadness, not shame, hope. He looked up at the sky and whispered, "Lord, could she be the one?" Papa Thomas walked into the house with a wide smile on his face. The heavy wooden door closed behind him and he removed his sandals quietly. The mansion was peaceful and cool. He looked around and saw his son sitting quietly in the living room. He cleared his throat. "Bernard." "Yes, Papa." "I met someone today." Bernard looked up. "Who?" Papa Thomas walked over and sat down. "Bernard, today I met the most beautiful and respectful, well-mannered woman I have ever seen in my life." Bernard raised his eyebrows. "Really?" "Yes," Papa Thomas said. "And I'm not talking about makeup or hair or fancy shoes. I'm talking about a heart, a clean heart, a woman with sense, dignity, and courage." Bernard sat back. "Okay, what happened?" "I was outside the supermarket. That same proud woman came again, the one who always insults me like I'm nothing. She opened her mouth today and poured all kinds of shameful words on me." Bernard clenched his fist lightly. "Again?" "Yes," Papa Thomas said, smiling, "but this time something different happened. A young woman saw what was happening, and before I could even say a word, she stood up for me." "She did?" "Yes, Bernard. She insulted that proud girl without fear. She didn't shout like a mad person, no. Her words were clean but strong. She spoke with fire and wisdom. That rude girl had no choice but to walk away in shame." Bernard was silent. "After that," Papa Thomas continued, "she came to sit with me. She didn't rush, she didn't act proud. She just sat down and asked if I was okay, like I was someone who mattered." "What's her name?" Bernard asked. "Mary." "Mary?" "Yes. I told her I was just a poor man with no home. She didn't laugh. She didn't judge." "Do you know what she said?" Bernard waited. "She said, 'Papa, I can help you.'" Bernard looked surprised. "She's a graduate. She studied agriculture. No job yet. Her parents are farmers too, but instead of complaining, she told me we can start a small farm together. She offered to help me find peace through hard work again. Papa, you're not serious, Bernard said softly. It's very serious, Papa Thomas replied. You know I've always wanted to go back to farming. You told me to stop. You said I was old, but Bernard, that's where I find joy. That's where I feel alive. Papa, we've talked about this. You don't need to farm anymore. You should rest, enjoy your old age. But rest without purpose is just waiting to die, Papa Thomas said. Farming is not just about food to me. It's about peace, patience, and strength. My body may be old, but my spirit is still strong. Bernard looked down, not speaking. Papa Thomas leaned forward. This girl, Mary, reminded me of the man I used to be. She brought light into my heart today, and more than that, she gave me hope again. Bernard rubbed his palm slowly across his chin. I'm telling you this, Bernard, Papa Thomas added. Not because I need permission, but because I've seen something special. That girl is gold. She may not have money, but she has character, and that's what wealth can't buy. Bernard lifted his eyes. Papa. Yes? I didn't want to say this, but my girlfriend is coming tomorrow. Papa Thomas leaned back. And what do you want me to do with that information? Bernard paused. She wants to meet you. That's none of my business, Papa Thomas said sharply. Because today I met Deduce, a woman who made me forget that rudeness still exists. A girl who respected me without knowing who I was. Your girlfriend might be coming tomorrow. But today, I already met the kind of woman this world needs. Bernard went silent. I've been watching you, Papa Thomas continued. You are rich, but you're alone. You have houses, but no joy. You have friends, but no peace. A wife should bring peace, Bernard. Not noise, not pride, not trouble. I understand, Papa. No, you don't, Papa Thomas said calmly. You say you have a girlfriend, but I don't know her. I don't know where she's from, what she believes in, how she treats people. You tell me she's beautiful. That's fine. But can beauty feed the heart? Bernard looked away. Let me tell you something, the old man continued. When I was young, I wanted to marry the most beautiful girl in my village. My mother warned me. I didn't listen. That girl had the face of an angel, but the tongue of a lion. She almost killed my soul. What happened? She left me, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. That was when I met your mother. She wasn't the most beautiful, but her heart was clean. Her hands were hard-working, and her love built our family. Bernard swallowed hard. So you're saying Mary is— I'm not saying anything yet, Papa Thomas replied. All I'm saying is, don't bring me noise tomorrow and expect me to smile, because I already saw peace today. Okay, Papa. Let your girlfriend come. Let her show me who she really is. But I will not pretend. And if I see pride, I'll tell her to her face. Bernard stood quietly and nodded. I respect that. Papa Thomas smiled. Good. I've done my part. Tomorrow, we'll see. The next morning came quietly. Papa Thomas had already taken his bath and was sitting in the living room. He wore clean, simple clothes. His face was calm, but his heart was not. He was thinking about Mary. He kept hearing her voice in his head. Papa, I can help you. He smiled to himself. Then he heard footsteps. Bernard walked in and stood beside him. Papa, yes, she's on her way. Papa Thomas looked straight ahead. Let her come. Minutes later, the sound of a car entering the compound filled the air. Papa Thomas didn't move. The door opened slowly. High heels tapped against the floor. Then Vanessa walked in, with pride on her face, handbags swinging by her side. She looked around the house, impressed. This place is nice, she said. Not as modern as mine, but still okay. Then her eyes landed on the old man sitting calmly on the couch. She froze, her smile vanished. Papa Thomas looked up at her but said nothing. Bernard stood between them, confused. Papa, I know who she is, Papa Thomas said coldly. Vanessa swallowed hard. You? Yes, he replied, still calm. We've met before, twice. Bernard looked at her. Wait, you know my father? Vanessa's lips shook. I didn't know he was your father. Papa Thomas leaned forward. You didn't need to. You only needed to show respect. Bernard's face changed. What is he talking about? Papa Thomas turned to his son. This is the same woman who splashed mud on me by the roadside and called me names. She told me I was useless. She mocked my poverty. She did it again at the supermarket yesterday. Bernard slowly turned to Vanessa. She couldn't speak. Is this true? He asked. I didn't know he was your father, she said quickly. You didn't need to know, Bernard replied. You insulted an old man in public. Twice. I thought he was a beggar, she shouted. He is a human being, Bernard snapped. Is that how to treat people? I didn't mean it like that, she said, almost whispering now. Papa Thomas stood slowly. You didn't mean it, but you said it. You poured shame on me because I looked poor. You spoke like you owned the world, but now the same old man is the father of the man you love. Vanessa opened her mouth, but no words came out. Tell me, Papa Thomas asked, if you had known, would you have behaved better? Yes, she said softly. Then you are not truly kind, he replied, because real kindness does not depend on who is watching. Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. Please, sir, I'm sorry. Papa Thomas shook his head. You are not sorry for what you did. You are sorry because of who I am. Bernard was silent, breathing hard, his eyes sharp now, disappointed. You told me you were bold, he said to Vanessa. You said you loved me. I do! You love yourself, he said, because the woman who loves me will respect my father. Vanessa dropped her bag. Please, Bernard. He looked at her one last time, then turned away. Papa, he said, I've made a mistake. Vanessa walked slowly to Papa Thomas. Please forgive me. He looked at her quietly and said, Forgiveness is easy, but trust is not. You had a chance to show who you really are, and you showed us. She wiped her tears, picked up her bag, and left. The room was silent again. Papa Thomas sat down. Bernard sat beside him. Papa. Yes. Mary. Yes? Where is she now? Papa Thomas smiled gently. She's coming to see me at the supermarket tomorrow. The next morning, Bernard left the house quietly. He needed some fresh air and time to think. What happened with Vanessa still played in his mind like a movie. He couldn't believe the woman he had once loved insulted his father, not once, but twice. His heart was heavy. He drove out alone, no driver, no assistant, just him and his thoughts. He didn't even know where he was going. He just wanted to breathe. After some time, he parked his car at the edge of a quiet area near a small stretch of land behind some local stores. He came down, walked a bit, and sat on a bench under a mango tree. The sun was still rising. The breeze was soft. For the first time in days, he felt calm. As he sat, he noticed someone ahead. A young woman standing beside a narrow piece of land, checking the ground. She had a bag of seeds in one hand and a small hoe in the other. She was dressed simply, with her hair tied back. No makeup, no flashy clothes, but there was something warm about her. She bent down, tested the soil with her fingers, then stood again. Bernard watched quietly. After a few minutes, she looked around and noticed him. She smiled. "Good morning." "Good morning," Bernard replied. She walked closer. "Are you from around here?" "No, just passing by. Needed a break." She nodded. "Me too?" "Well, not really a break. I'm planning to start a small farm here." Bernard looked at the land. You? A farm? She laughed. Yes, why not? Most young ladies I know won't touch a hoe, let alone start a farm. She dropped her bag and extended her hand. I'm Mary. He shook it. Bernard. They both smiled. She sat on a rock beside him. I'm trying to help an old man. He has no real home. He's kind and wise. Reminds me of my father. Bernard turned. Really? Yes. I met him yesterday. He was being insulted by a woman. I couldn't keep quiet, so I stood up for him. Bernard's heart skipped. Mary continued. After the drama, I found out he doesn't beg for money. He just sits quietly, watching the world. So I told him I'll help him start a small farm. At least that way he can eat fresh food and feel useful. Bernard looked at her deeply. She didn't brag. She didn't shout. She spoke with peace in her voice. I wish more people thought like you, he said. She laughed. We're out here, just hidden. You live nearby? No, I take the bus from the other side of town. It's not easy, but I can't stay home doing nothing. Bernard nodded. I admire that. She looked at him. What do you do? Bernard hesitated. Business. Ah, business, the favorite Nigerian word. They both laughed. I won't ask too many questions, she said. You look like someone with a lot on his mind. Bernard smiled. You're right. She stood. I need to plant these seeds before the sun gets too hot. He stood with her. Can I help? She raised a brow. You, with your clean shoes and soft hands? I can learn. She smiled. All right, let's start with okra. And just like that, they began. 2 strangers, 2 worlds, 1 small farm. It was late afternoon. Papa Thomas sat quietly at his usual spot near the supermarket. His eyes were soft, and his thoughts were far away. He wasn't thinking about money or food. He was thinking about Mary, her kindness, her courage, her words. Suddenly, a cheerful voice pulled him out of his thoughts. Papa! He looked up. It was Mary, smiling and walking toward him with a small basket in her hand. She reached him and sat down gently beside him. I brought you something. What is it? He asked warmly. Just some fresh vegetables and boiled ground nuts, she said. It's not much. Papa Thomas opened the basket and smiled. It's everything. Thank you, my daughter. May God bless your hands, Mary laughed. Amen, Papa. They sat quietly for a moment. Then she leaned closer. Papa, I have good news. His eyes brightened. Tell me. I found land. You did? He asked, surprised. Yes, it belongs to my uncle. I told him what I wanted to do, and he said I can use part of it for farming. It's a small space, but it's enough to start with okra and vegetables. Ah, this is good. So when are we going? Mary smiled wide. Tomorrow morning, if you are ready. Papa Thomas paused, then gently shook his head. No, he said calmly. We can't go to the farm tomorrow. Mary looked confused. Why not, Papa? Because, he said, you are coming to my house tomorrow. She blinked. Your house? But you said you sleep in a shop. He smiled. Just come. I will explain everything to you. She raised an eyebrow. Papa, are you hiding something? I'm hiding peace, he joked. You will understand tomorrow. She laughed. So, when are we going to the farm? Let's go by weekend, he said. She nodded. Okay, but Papa, you're full of surprises. He reached into his pocket and gave her a small paper. That's the address. Don't be late. Mary took the paper, looked at it, and shook her head. Now I'm really curious. She paused, then added shyly, Papa, I also met someone today. Papa Thomas leaned forward. Who? She looked down and smiled. Just someone. A man. He's very handsome. I like him. I mean, he's kind. Very humble. The old man's eyes widened. Who could that be? I want to see him, my daughter. Mary laughed. No, Papa, it's not like that. We're just friends for now. Still, Papa Thomas said, I'm your second father now. I must see him with my own eyes." She shook her head playfully. "Papa, calm down." He grinned. "So, are we going to see tomorrow?" She hesitated. "Yes, Papa. See you tomorrow." "See you, my daughter." As she walked away, Papa Thomas whispered to himself. Later that evening, Papa Thomas returned to the house. The big mansion was quiet. He walked into the living room and saw Bernard sitting there. "Papa," Bernard called, "can I tell you something?" "Yes, my son." "I met someone today." Papa Thomas sat down, smiling inside already. "You did?" "Yes, a woman, not like the others. She's beautiful but simple, intelligent but calm, hard-working. She was farming under the sun." Papa Thomas leaned forward. "What's her name?" "Mary." The old man closed his eyes briefly and smiled. "She's the first woman that has ever made me want to sit and listen without rushing," Bernard added. Papa Thomas spoke slowly. "I would like to meet her." "You will?" Bernard replied. "Very soon." The old man leaned back and smiled again. "Tomorrow," he whispered in his heart, "you'll meet her in the most unexpected way." The next morning, Mary stood in front of a large black gate, holding her simple handbag and the address Papa Thomas had given her. She looked up and down, double-checked the number, then looked again. "This place is too fine," she whispered. "Is this really where Papa Thomas lives?" A security man stepped out of the small gate beside the main one. "Yes, can I help you?" Mary nodded. "I'm here to see Papa Thomas. He gave me this address yesterday." The man looked her over, then said, "Wait here." He walked back inside. Mary clutched her bag tighter, her heart beating faster. Something's not right. She had come expecting to see a small home, or maybe a family friend of Papa Thomas. But this mansion was nothing like that. It had tall white walls, big flowers in front, and a smooth driveway. The air even smelled different. Before she could overthink, the gate opened. "Come in," the security man said. Mary walked in slowly, her sandals tapping gently on the smooth tiled floor outside. She stopped near the wide entrance, stunned by the beauty around her. The house looked like something from a magazine. Clean walls, glass windows, flower pots, and a calm silence. Then she heard footsteps. "Mary." She turned slowly and froze. It was Bernard. The same man she met near the farm, the same man who helped her with the seeds, the one she laughed with, the one she liked. He stood there, dressed simply, but still looking like the man she couldn't stop thinking about. Their eyes locked. "Bernard," she whispered. He stepped forward, eyes wide with disbelief. "Mary." She looked around again. "You live here?" Before he could reply, another voice came from behind him. "My daughter." She looked past Bernard and saw Papa Thomas walking out of the living room, smiling from ear to ear. Mary gasped, "Papa." She took 2 steps back. "Wait, you live here?" Papa Thomas chuckled and walked toward her. "Yes, this is my house." "But you told me you sleep in a shop." He nodded calmly. "Because I wanted to see how people treated me when they thought I had nothing." Mary's eyes moved from Papa Thomas to Bernard, then back again. "Wait!" She turned to Bernard, pointing. "You're his son?" Bernard smiled slowly. "Yes, I am." Mary covered her mouth in shock. "I don't understand," she said. "Everything. It doesn't make sense." Papa Thomas walked closer. "My daughter, I'm sorry for hiding the truth, but you've shown me your real heart. You helped me when you thought I was a poor, homeless old man. That's something rare in this world." Mary's eyes watered. "You were testing me." "No," he said softly. "I was watching. Life has taught me to observe. Many people pass the rich and kneel for them, but they spit on the poor. You did the opposite. You gave me food. You offered to farm with me. You made me feel seen." She looked at Bernard. "And you?" Bernard stepped closer. "I didn't know either. I met you by chance. I never imagined you'd be the same person my father kept talking about." She shook her head slowly, blinking back tears. "This is too much." Papa Thomas smiled. "But it's good, because now no one can say you were chasing money. You didn't know anything. You just followed your heart." Mary looked down. "I didn't do anything special." "You did," Bernard said gently. "You were kind to a man you thought had nothing. That's rare and powerful." Silence fell between them for a moment. Then Papa Thomas broke it. "Mary, come inside. You're home now." She looked up again, still emotional, still overwhelmed. "Are you sure?" she asked softly. Bernard extended his hand. "Yes, please." She took his hand, and together they walked into the house, not as strangers, but as something more, something real. The house was quiet now. Papa Thomas had gone inside to rest, leaving Bernard and Mary alone in the large, beautiful living room. Bernard sat beside Mary on the couch, looking at her, unsure how to begin, but he didn't wait too long. "Mary," he said gently, "I don't want to waste time." She turned and looked at him. "I know we just met," he continued, "but I feel something strong, something I've never felt before." Mary listened, her eyes fixed on him. "I love you," Bernard said clearly, "from the very first time I saw you." She blinked slowly. "I didn't just admire you. I didn't just enjoy your company. I loved your strength, your calmness, your confidence. And given the fact that my father loves you too, it's a big plus for me." He leaned forward, his voice sincere. "Mary, I want to marry you as soon as possible." She looked at him, speechless for a moment. "I'm not going to lie," she said softly. "I love you too. From the first moment we met near the farm, I felt peace. I didn't even know who you were, but I felt safe with you." He smiled, heart full. She smiled too. "If you truly want to marry me," she said gently, "then I will say yes." Bernard reached for her hand and held it firmly. "Thank you. You are the most beautiful and intelligent woman I have ever seen, and now you're going to be my wife." Mary blushed, but her face turned serious. "There's something I must do first," she said. "What is it?" "I have to go to the village. I must tell my parents. They live there. They must know." Bernard paused. Her words echoed in his head. "My parents live in the village." He sat up straight. "No," he said. "That cannot continue." She looked confused. "What do you mean?" "My parents-in-law cannot live in the village while I live in a mansion," Bernard said firmly. Her eyes widened. "I have many houses here in the city. I will give them one. I want them to stop farming and leave the village. They've suffered enough. I want them to enjoy peace now." Mary stared at him, mouth open, hands frozen. You would do that for them?" "Mary," he said, "I'm not marrying only you. I'm marrying into your family, and I must honor them like I honor my own father." Tears welled in Mary's eyes. No one has ever said something like that to me before," she said. He gently wiped her tears. "You're worth it," he said, "and I want you to know, from today, your struggle is my struggle, your joy is my joy." News spread quickly in the city. Bernard, the quiet billionaire, was getting married, but not to a rich girl, not to a celebrity. He was marrying a simple, respectful lady named Mary. People were shocked. Some smiled and praised his choice, others were jealous. But no one was more angry than Vanessa. She heard the news from one of her friends at a spa. "What did you just say?" Vanessa asked sharply. "Yes, now," the friend said. "Bernard is getting married to that girl. I even heard she's from the village." Vanessa's face twisted. Her jaw tightened, her hands began to shake. "He can't do this to me," she said. She stormed out of the spa and entered her car, fuming with anger. That night, she called someone, a rough-looking man named Sko, known for doing dirty jobs. I want you to do something for me, she said coldly. What is it? Sko asked. I want you to plant hard drugs inside Bernard's office. Once it's there, we'll alert the police. He'll be arrested, disgraced, and jailed. The wedding will scatter. Sko was silent. Vanessa continued. Also, if you can finish the job, make sure that girl Mary never wakes up, and that ugly old man she calls father-in-law. I want him gone forever. I don't want to ever see his useless face again. Sko said nothing. She ended the call thinking it was done. But what Vanessa didn't know was this. Sko knew Bernard. Bernard was the same man who helped Sko's elder sister years ago. Bernard gave her a job in his company when no one believed in her. When their mother was dying, Bernard paid all the hospital bills. He even helped Sko's family pay their rent after they were thrown out. Sko sat alone that night thinking, "This is the man you want me to destroy," he said to himself. "The man who saved my family? Never." He picked up his phone. He called Vanessa again, this time putting the phone on record. "Hello," she answered. "Tell me the plan again. I need all the details," Sko said. Vanessa laughed wickedly and repeated everything. She talked without holding back, mentioning how the drug should be planted and how she wanted Bernard's father and Mary unalived before the wedding. Sko ended the call. He saved the recording. The next morning, he walked straight into Bernard's office. Bernard was busy with wedding arrangements and office matters. "Sir, I need just 10 minutes, Sko said. Bernard looked up. "Do I know you?" "You helped my family many years ago. I've come to return the favor." Bernard looked confused but nodded. "Go on." Sko explained everything. He played the voice recording on speaker. As Bernard listened, his face changed. His heart beat fast. His mouth remained open as he heard Vanessa's voice clearly plotting his downfall and wishing death on Mary and his father. When it ended, Bernard leaned back and covered his face. She really wanted to destroy us." Sko nodded. "I couldn't let it happen. You don't deserve it." "Thank you," Bernard said, shaking his hand. "You've saved us." Hours later, the police moved in. Vanessa was arrested at a luxury restaurant where she was showing off new clothes. "What is the meaning of this?" she shouted. "You're under arrest for attempted murder, conspiracy, and drug framing," one officer said. She screamed and cried, but they took her away. In court, Vanessa wore a long black dress and tried to act innocent. "I don't know what they're talking about," she said. "I never said anything like that." The judge looked at her silently, then he nodded to the officer. The officer pressed play. Vanessa's voice filled the courtroom. She spoke clearly, without shame, repeating all her evil plans. She laughed in the recording. She insulted Papa Thomas, calling him ugly and poor. She called Mary names and even said, "I want her gone forever." When the recording ended, the courtroom went silent. Everyone turned to look at her. Vanessa's mouth dropped open. She started crying instantly. "I didn't mean it. I was angry. I was drunk. It's the devil." The judge raised a hand. "Enough. The devil did not force you to speak. You planned evil, and you would have succeeded if not for one honest man." She sobbed. "Please, I'm sorry." The judge looked at her without pity. "For jealousy, for pride, for wickedness, you shall face the law." Vanessa was sentenced to 15 years in prison with no option for bail. Back at the mansion, Bernard told Mary everything. She was shocked but thankful. "That could have been the end of us," she whispered. Bernard hugged her. "But it's not, because good people still exist. People like Sko, people like you." That weekend, they both traveled to Mary's village. When they arrived, Bernard knelt in front of her parents. "I want to marry your daughter, and from today, I want you to leave the village. Come live in the city. I have a house ready for you. You've worked too hard. It's time for you to rest." Mary's mother cried. Her father blessed Bernard with joy. 1 month later, Bernard and Mary were married in a beautiful, joyful ceremony. After the wedding, Bernard and Mary flew out quietly for their honeymoon. They walked hand in hand on the beach, laughing, barefoot in the sand. "I still can't believe this is real," Mary said softly. Bernard smiled. "It's real, and it's forever." Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching, and stay blessed.